Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our LinkedIn Live event. Today, we'll be discussing how leaders at Eaton are empowering engineers to overcome gender barriers and drive innovation. I'm Ali Karsh, and I'm a senior design thinking strategist at Eaton, and I'll be moderating our session today. Before we get started, a quick reminder that you will not be asked and should not click on any links during this event. If you're seeing me, that means you're in the right place. You've made it into the event, and we will welcome your comments and questions, but we will not be asking you to click on any links, so please do not do that. So for those of you joining today who are not familiar with Eaton, we are an intelligent power management company with a diverse portfolio of products and services. And our mission is to improve the quality of life for life and the environment through the use of power management technologies and services. We create products like uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs, switchgears, electric vehicle chargers, emergency lighting systems, just to name a few. And with our products, we always have the goal of increasing safety, reliability, and efficiency for our users, our customers, and for the good of the planet. Our engineering team at Eaton is incredibly valued and global community of 10,000 engineering professionals specializing in domains like power electronics, energy systems, material sciences, additive manufacturing, Industry 4.0, digital technologies, and cybersecurity. And with the help of all of these technologies, our engineers can help Eaton to make our products and our world more sustainable. So today we're going to discuss how our leaders at Eaton are empowering engineers to overcome gender barriers and drive innovation. Our panel of inspiring women engineering leaders will share some of their experience and advice related to these topics. I have some questions prepared, but we will be pulling in questions from the audience, as I mentioned earlier. So throughout the session, please share your great questions with us, and we will bring those into the conversation. So briefly, a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Ali Karsh, and I am a senior design thinking strategist on Eaton's internal human-centered design team, Studio Blue. Our team exists to help Eaton employees be more human-centered, collaborative, and creative in the way that they approach their work and the way that they create products for our customers. So I am not an engineer. I studied industrial design, which is the design of physical products. But as a part of my role, I got the privilege of training, coaching, and collaborating with talented engineers from all over the enterprise and the world. So that's enough about me. We are really here to hear from this amazing panel of female engineering leaders. And I'd love to give each of you a couple minutes to introduce yourselves. So Irene, we'll start with you, and then Vibhu and Isabel.
Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Irene Lamb, and I lead the innovation and technology for the Electrical Sectors America. I am actually based out of Boston. We actually have a global team on the call. And I've been at Eaton for 3 years, been in the industry over 20 odd years. And I'm very excited to be here and to have the whole hour to be interactive and share it with my colleagues. I am not a mom, but I am an auntie mommy of 4 nephews. And over to you, Vibhu.
Thank you, Irene. Good day and hello to everyone. I am Vibhu Bandari, Engineering Director for Critical Systems Division at Electrical MAI in Eaton. I have 21 plus years of experience in the industry now, joined Eaton 4.5 years ago, prior to which I was working with Honeywell for 17 plus years. I'm based in UK, a mom of 2 teenage boys, and I should say now a year-old dog too. I'm very excited to be here with Ali, Irene, and Isabel, and you all in the audience to share our views today on this topic. Over to you, Isabel.
Thank you, Vibhu. Hi, everyone. I am Isabel Staub. I'm the Engineering Director of the division in charge of Energy Transition, Digital and Services portfolio here in EMEA. I'm a pure player of engineering because I worked in this function since more than 20 years. I really like technology. I'm based in France. I'm the mother of 2 blooming teenagers, a girl and a boy. And my preferred hobby is to travel to meet new people and new cultures. So I'm really pleased to have this live session with you today.
Thank you all. I'm excited for our discussion today. So I would like to remind the audience once again that we will be answering your questions today. So please submit your questions via the comment section in the live stream, and we will do our best to respond to as many as we can. So for our first question, Eaton operates in various sectors from electrical to aerospace. Could you highlight some of the exciting engineering challenges and opportunities that women engineers can explore within Eaton's diverse portfolio? Vibhu, do you want to start with this one?
Of course, I can. As Ali already said in the introduction, Eaton is a power management company that offers wide range of opportunities in various sectors, market segments, and technology fields for engineers. We have products ranging from low voltage, small products like emergency lighting or emergency lighting systems, circuit breakers, fire devices, power components. We have a big division supplying power components in the industry, ranging from there to high voltage electrical systems like transformers, switch gears, uninterrupted power supplies, both single and three phase. Besides offering these challenging career opportunities, you will also see we have, besides these electrical products, we also have intelligent software and cloud-based application development happening within Eaton. So there are enormous opportunities for all our engineers. So the opportunity is vast, and Isabel can add more from her new age technologies that she's working on.
Yes,
So
sure. I can only confirm that there are many opportunities for engineers at Eaton. In my division, we are in the growing market of energy transition. So we are indeed looking for a variety of engineers of different profiles, from hardware, for example, because we have a portfolio of chargers for electrical vehicle, but also now for electrical aircraft, which is a pure innovation Eaton is bringing to the market. We also do energy storage systems, so reusing our capability with lithium battery technology. Also, we need firmware engineers, right? Because we need to have controllers and gateway in order to push data in a cyber secured way on software applications so that we can do intelligent power management. So we also have a lot of needs in terms of software with various skills, data scientists, back-end, front-end. So I definitely confirm that it's a very exciting time for engineers nowadays and at Eaton in particular.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel and Vibhu. Irene, do you have anything to add there?
I think that the only thing I would have to add is specific to just around all the different climate changes. Some of the more exciting things that we're doing is the use of, AI has been around, the cloud has been around, sensor technology has also been around, but now we're able to apply all of these technologies in such a way to help to make our products more resilient. You're talking about the hurricanes on the East Coast, the wildfires, all of that has an impact to our grid. So to me, as an engineer, it's very, very exciting to go and try to meet these challenges as we have these environmental impacts.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for sharing lots of meaningful opportunities to make an impact. Okay, for our next question, could you share an example of a project or innovation in the engineering field where women have made a major impact? So Isabel, how about we start with you on this one?
Yeah, sure. And maybe, I would like to explain a little bit the origin of the division I am working in now, because it all started about, I would say, 10 years ago, actually, by a concept, because this is what engineering is, right? We have a blank sheet, we have a vision, and we need to do product development. So actually, our vision was that we could reduce the carbon footprint of data centers by turning the data center itself into a smart grid node. And so what we did is an open innovation project within the European research program with academic partners, but also industrial ones like Nissan, to reuse their lithium battery, give them a second life inside the UPSs developed by Vibhu, right, to turn it into energy assets. A lot of cool stuff like that, actually, our building as a great vision. And we gave the coordination of this project to a very young woman, almost freshly graduated, that she was in my team about 2 years before, and she was part of Eaton Leadership Development Program, that is offering a kind of fast track for talent in order to have stretch assignment. And it was quite bold when you think about regarding the other partners, because she was probably the only woman and surely the youngest, but she did perfectly well. And we turned to develop a product line, then a business unit, then a division. And I have now much more women in my team. So it's really showing you that definitely Eaton is empowering women in engineering and in innovation. And this is the division I'm working in today.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel. Let's see. Did Irene, is there anything you want to add here?
So one of the examples, thank you, Isabel, that Isabel has mentioned is a lot of the decision making now. And Ali, you're in the human centric design, and a lot of our programs run through your team first. When we look at both user and industrial design, I would say that to have a diverse project team is pretty important, because things like how do you install and service and how do you use a product is very critical. So when I think about a recent project that came to mind is our EV chargers. And as you look at some of EV chargers, simple things like, can I even remove the charger and actually be able to charge, both as someone who doesn't have the strength and as you go to higher power. So to me, when I look at innovate power, how, female engineers can impact is the diversity and the diversity of thoughts, because we are also the consumer and the user of the product.
Definitely. Thanks, Irene. And Vibhu, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I would add to what Irene and Isabel said is from my recent experience in last few years, I have seen we have good number of women engineers in all different areas within engineering who have contributed or innovated in their respective fields. I would say we have women engineers developing sustainable products to meet increasing green requirements that come regionally or globally. As Irene already mentioned, we have women designing our SF6-free switchgears or atmospheric pressure-led electrical products. And on the other side, we have women engineers leading, architecting, and developing cloud software IoT products. So we do have across the different functions of engineering women there. From another example, I would say is women are driving our very, very big global programs that are spanning across the regions, Americas, Asia Pac, and EMEA. And then we also have women. We have examples of women in our teams who have designed and brought automation into our testing systems. So it's not just getting one product out, it's also innovating around that product. It could be one small thing in the product. We have women doing that.
Awesome. Thank you all. Okay, so we're getting some questions from the audience, so we're going to take one of those. So from Maimuna, the question is, can you please talk more about the development program, software engineering for grad students? So I think Maimuna is asking about our leadership development programs, what opportunities we have for early talent to get their start at Eaton. So would anyone like to take this one?
I can.
Yeah, go ahead, Vibhu.
Okay, I wouldn't restrict it only for software engineers. It's for all our young engineers who join in, whether they are software, mechanical, electrical. We have something called early talent development program. That's what Isabel mentioned earlier. And it's not that these early talent engineers are put on to just dummy projects. They are working on live projects. That's where they learn from. And we do have under this program, we do rotate them across businesses, across countries in first few years. So then once they have gained enough experience to figure out where is it that they would like to progress in their career, so we deploy them in the right place. And post that, once you are also into your career, we have at different levels of your career, we have different leadership development programs there. So it's very well organized. Career progression at Eaton is all I would say.
Awesome. Anything to add, Irene or Isabel?
My only thing to add is Vibhu explained it perfectly. The leadership program, the early talent leadership program, is for undergraduate and graduates. We recruit both.
Yep. Thanks for clarifying. Isabel, anything from you?
No, all well said, and again, related to my example, I can only confirm that we give stretch assignment to those early graduated students because we again gave the coordination of this collaborative program to one of those participants.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we'll take one more from the audience. So a question from Bonsky. Is there any opportunity to work with Eaton regarding sustainability? And Bonsky lists reducing carbon, water footprints. So can any of you elaborate on efforts that Eaton is doing within sustainability? Anyone want to take this one? Irene, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I can take this
Awesome.
one. I think a lot of this is both in our rooftop, meaning our plants, and then in specifically in engineering. So let me talk about the areas we're doing engineering. We've made a commitment, Eaton has made a commitment to reduce our carbon emission, greenhouse gas emission from the life cycle of our products by 30% by the year 2030. So that means that people like me, Vibhu, Isabel, and our engineering team have to figure out a way to design the product in such a way, both the design of it and the operation, and even the material used, so that we can actually reduce the greenhouse gas emission. We track those metrics. I think we're going to report them out from the way our products is operated. So there is, if you go to eaton.com, there should be more and more requisitions open in that area, because that is one of our major focus, both in the way we operate in our offices and our plants, but now into the design of our products. So thank you for asking that question. That is an area that we're recruiting for actively across the globe.
Awesome. Thanks, Irene. Anything to add from Vibhu or Isabel on that one?
I think Irene covered it all. We have as a goal for all three of us engineering leaders here to ensure that our products, any product that we are developing, has green element to it. We have sustainable design, we have sustainable material that we are pulling in, and also the existing products, we are trying to see how much of that we can actually bring it back and refurbish and create an impact on the environment there. So it's all there. We do have
Yes,
opportunity in all these
and
areas.
we have sustainability metrics, as you said, Vivu, to track the performance of our development. And with this work group, we of course have women also participating to it, right? So it is indeed a key area for us, right? Sustainability, as I mentioned, is key now. It's even into reports at companies level. So our customers, for example, are asking us those metrics even, in our software applications to know about, for example, life cycle assessment at their building level. So a lot of things indeed that Eaton is contributing to provide these indicators to customers.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Okay, we're going to jump into our next question, and we're switching gears a little bit here. So this question is, work-life balance and avoiding burnout is a really common concern for all working people today, but traditionally more pressure can be put on women to carry the burden of whatever the life or home part of that balance entails. So how have you all navigated maintaining this balance while pursuing and achieving successful engineering careers? And what tips can you share with us today? And we'll start with Vibhu for this one.
Okay, this is a very difficult question, I would say. I don't personally believe that there is ever a perfect work-life balance. There are times one takes over the other. And I consider work also as part of our life. So therefore, it's like you just have to juggle whether it's your work or it's your kids that you prioritize at any point in time. And it's eventually it's your choice what you make, which one do you prioritize. If I think there's no perfect formula to bring that balance. From my personal experience, what I would say is one has to be organized enough to keep reminding oneself, not only reminding oneself, I would say, reminding everyone around me about the task that I have or the priorities I have, so that they are able to understand and they're able to support you for that priority during that point in time. And I would say one must not hesitate to seek support, whether that support is something that you're seeking from your work colleagues or your friends, family, it could be your school or work. there is enough organized support system, and everybody understands. Everybody goes through the similar challenges. They do understand. And I do see for people like with, if I go back to 10 years back, when I was also struggling with young children, young family, early years of my career, that's the time I convinced myself that if I seek this support, I am actually investing in myself,
Mm.
so that I can balance that. And I think biggest enemy to your peace, and peace is what we call as work-life balance, is procrastination. And one must avoid it, I would say. And I have still not cracked personally a good formula to avoid procrastination. So it's human.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is such a great reminder to always ask for help, or not always, but not be afraid to ask for help, and that there's nothing wrong with asking for help. We don't have to be superwomen. Isabel, can we hear from you now on this one?
Yes, I fully agree with all the points mentioned by Vibhu. There is probably no magic formula, right? And I would say that it's indeed a personal question, and no one will probably blame you for your choice but yourself. So you must be very comfortable with it and don't put yourself under the gun, right? Um, as Vivu said, we don't need to have superpowers, and everyone only have 20 hours a day. So consider time for sure as a scarce resource, and the way you value it is personal. Don't compare to others. This is also an advice I would give. And again, I would also encourage people actually to be balanced, because I observe in my personal life, but also, of course, at work, that when you can put distance with events, it is where you take probably the best decision as well, right? So it's super important that we can indeed, as Vibhu said, invest in ourselves so that we can even be better at work.
Definitely. Thank you, Isabel. And Irene, do you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, I think very similar themes, on work-life balance is very much a personal choice. It's also very much where you are in your professional and personal lives. For me, in my early career, there was no work-life balance. It was a lot about work. That was a choice I made, and that's because I was getting selected on a lot of big programs. I was getting to travel the world. So I did a lot of both building my network, building my career, just learning new skills. That was a choice I made as I am now going into what I call the second half of my career. Both as a leader, I have to be more selective. Selective so that I can delegate and give other people opportunities, right? So when you get to delegate and give other people opportunities, it gives you a bit more balance at work. And then more selective because there's different things that I want, there's different things I want to try, and I want to spend more time with the nephews and the family. So to me, I would say the best advice I've gotten is your work-life balance is your personal choice. And that's for you to go figure out from where you are and what do you want, and I always end up looking at both my personal and my professional goals and saying, okay, this is the role I need right now for whatever reason.
Awesome. Thanks, Irene. So for our next question, as we all know, the engineering industry is rapidly evolving. So how does Eaton adapt to these changes, and what role have you seen women engineers playing to shape the company's response to these industry trends and emerging technologies? And Irene, we'll start with you for this one.
So Ali, thank you for giving me this. As everyone knows, I'm very excited to answer this specific question. So there's two parts of it. What are some of the industry trends? Well, I would say globally, but especially at Eaton, we have more flexibility than ever to adapt to the times, right? Meaning we get to have some of us, I'm lucky enough to do remote work, although I end up traveling every single week so that I can be close to our global engineering group. But to me, one of the biggest trend is the ability to have both remote and hybrid. And in order to facilitate both remote and hybrid, you need new digital tools like digital twinning, model-based design, and being able to even take advantage of what we call the new types of cloud technology, where not everything needs to be done what we call on-premise. So what's exciting about being able to do remote work is now driving for better productivity, is now driving a much more different adoption of new technologies. Just in the last, honestly, 2 weeks, I've gotten 2 different phone calls from, it happens to be 2 different female engineering leader, one external and one internal, Eaton, where they are so excited because for the first time, they've taken their base product and they've done a digital twin. And the possibility of having a digital twin of your entire product allows you not to only iterate faster, it allows you to do more virtually, it allows global participation. So that's what I would say is very, very exciting on some of these newer technologies on our base product, right? So you get to, take the best of all the work that we're doing and then marrying with new technologies and then facilitating a new way of working.
Awesome. Thanks, Irene. What about Isabel or Vibu? Anything to add on this question?
I think she wrapped it up well.
Yeah.
I would go with that.
Okay, awesome. We'll keep moving then. So for our next question, how do you see diversity and inclusion benefiting the field of engineering and driving innovation? And can you provide specific examples from your experience? Isabel, let's start with you on this one.
Okay, sure. I think that first of all, Eaton is talking about inclusion and diversity, right? And I know in other companies it's diversity and inclusion. I think that what we want to put emphasis on is that inclusion is really what is important, that everyone feels valuable so that the group is stronger. And about diversity, I think that it's super important to have it inside the group, because when you start really having diversity in your team, you actually introduce the capability within your team to challenge the status quo, to consider all alternative ideas, and so you become probably more adaptable to any change that you would need to have, in order to adjust your strategy, because the problem statement is probably well defined from all the various angles. And it can bring a lot of innovation actually in the workplace, but also in the new product development. I have many examples like that. I could give you a quick one about improvement in the workplace. When I had my first child, I was at that time a power electronic design engineer, and I had to do some soldering, right, on my prototype. So actually, because I was pregnant, the EHS team of my previous company bought for the first time actually a solder fume extractor. That is now a standard in all the labs in all the companies, and that could benefit also to my other colleagues. So it's really an improvement. Actually, women are sometimes just accelerating some changes like that. That would come anyway, but it's just revealing to people that we need to move forward. And then I can add that for new product development, as Irene mentioned earlier, we should not forget that related to women specifically, we are on the other side of, on the user side, we are decision makers also from that standpoint. There are women who are facility managers, system integrators, and users. So if we want to bring innovation and to be user-centric, we need to consider diversity. It's really the best way we'll bring the right product on the market.
Definitely. Thank you. Let's see. Vibu, do you have anything to add here?
Of course, this is a topic very close to my heart. I would say Eaton does very well in programs or even objectives around diversity and inclusion. I go back to the goals. All of us, all leaders at Eaton have diversity and inclusion goal in their annual goals performance. So it's not just that, we have so many initiatives around women to innovate, inspire them to aim high and help them advance their career. So one of that I would say is we have annual Women in Engineering Awards, which Eaton has introduced around not just one, It's around multiple categories of awards there. We have these awards to recognize their efforts towards bringing in advanced technology for their customer focus, for their leadership, for even emerging talent. And most important that I would like to mention is we have this award. Among these Women in Engineering award, there is one award called Ally Award, which typically goes to the male leader who has done good enough around diversity and inclusion. So that's one, I would say, Women in Engineering Awards. Then the second one, I would say, we at Eaton, we encourage women in all regions to participate in their local and regional trade shows. We ensure that we have participation of women there. Then I think somebody put it in the comment that Eaton is very well represented in SWE. SWE is Society for Women Engineers. We do make sure that uh, our women engineers get enough exposure to network with other women engineers outside in that region. So we do encourage people, and we also, these Women in Engineering Award winners, we nominate them to go and participate. So that's another area. One more thing I would like to add is we have this platform around women called WAVE, which is Women Adding Value to Eaton. And this WAVE platform organizes various initiatives for focused around women to advance in their careers, like also creating allies around them. How it's not only encouraging women, it's also encouraging male leaders around them to how we can create more allies, more mentors, more sponsors for women within this system. And we do have something where women come together, which is called as Chalk Talks. We did host a Chalk Talk in SWE in EMEA and in the past SWE in Americas also. In these Chalk Talks, what happens is women of, I would say 20 to 25 women come together and they discuss around a particular theme. And the theme could be an opportunity or challenge. Like right now, this is a very good week when we are hosting this Chalk Talk around the world, and the theme is how women can take care of themselves, which is take care of you, because that their health is what matters. So we have right now, as we are talking, there are multiple sessions happening across the globe within Eaton discussing that.
Awesome. Thanks, Vivu. I actually got to participate in one of the Chalk Talks this week. I was a co-host for one of the ones in America. So that was a great experience and a way to connect with other women at Eaton. All right, let's keep moving. We have a few great questions coming in from the audience, so I want to make sure we have time for those. So we had a question from Anne, and the question was, can you share a personal anecdote about a time when you overcame a significant gender-related challenge in your engineering career? So does anyone want to take this one?
I'll take this one, Allie. So I have a few, and I'll pick one that probably most resonates. I am, and I think when we were just generically having a conversation as we were, prepping for this talk, one of the things I'm very passionate about on, overcoming gender barrier is getting a seat at the table. And I'm a very big fan of the book Leaned In by Sheryl Sandberg. And so on the Leaned In book, one of the things they say is make sure you get a seat at the table. So when we come to gender-related challenge engineering career, it could be a seat at the table during a project review. It could be a seat at the table on your own contributions and not having that be overlooked. So one of the things I still do today, my team knows that, is if there's a really big meeting, I am always there 10 minutes early so I can find the most strategic seat in the table. So that would be my euphemism for saying, make sure you get a seat at the table, no matter where you are in your career. If you're invited to the meeting and you're a key person on the project team, your voice needs to be heard.
Thanks, Irene. Isabel or Vibu, do you have any other anecdotes to share around overcoming gender barriers?
Yes, I would like to say also that, it's important not to let anyone think on your behalf, because usually I would say the intent can be good, but the way it is actually translated is sometimes irrelevant. It can go to inelegant words to really unfair situations. So you should really make your point, as Irene said. And if I remember, for example, my early assignment, I was assigned on the smallest product, and when I asked why, it was because it is the lightweight one, the one that I could carry by myself. But I don't think it is a relevant criteria, right? Because there are tools for lifting even the most heavy products. And also, I think that it's actually limiting myself, but it's also limiting my employer uh, to think this way, because actually, women is just adding, talent to the pool of people, and we should not have those kind of stereotype in mind. That women would have to overcome. So I made my point very clear that it was not a problem for me to use a tool to lift the most heavy product if that was what I wanted to do.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Isabel. So important as women and anyone in our careers to really advocate for ourselves and be sometimes it can be seen as bragging when we tell people what we're capable of, but I think it's really important to assert that and make sure that you're heard, not let people assume. Awesome. We'll do one more question from the audience. There's so many good ones coming in, so let me pick a good one. Okay, question from Riff is, can you please share how you are retaining your amazing talent? Does anyone have something to add here?
I would love to start this one.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yes,
Irene.
this is what, to me, this is one of my number one goals, retaining, attracting, empowering, talent, both the talent we already have and to actually get, external talent to make our team more diverse. So I can speak from personal experience that one of the most effective ways of retaining talent is being able to mentor and then giving them stretch assignments. So as a leader, I'm really big on, paying it forward, where I've got great mentorships to get me where I am, both male and female advocacy, both a network of, peers, but even executive sponsor. So the way to, retain talent is about, creating formal and informal network, me being a mentor, and then being able to really understand from your talent population and really work on stretch assignments. Isabel kept talking about it. A stretch assignment is a nice, safe way for people to actually stretch above what they're working on and test to see if they like it, right? When you're talking about either upskilling or working in adjacent areas, to me, stretch assignments are really important, and or rotational program, where it's okay, you rotate, there's a very specific assignment, and then both parties can decide, I like doing this, I want to continue, or this is not for me, right? So that to me is really important. And then the final piece of an engaged workforce is always about recognition. Sometimes it's not just recognition from your leadership. To me, I find more reward if I get recognized by my peers. So we've been launching very concerted efforts to have, Vibu talk about Women in Engineering Awards. That's generic for all of our, Eaton enterprise, but specifically in our business, we have recognition programs. But for me, functionally in engineering in the Americas, we pick very specific categories around, being innovative, being collaborative, customer focused, designing something that contribute back to the enterprise. So we have very specific categories. So to me, all of these tools are one of the ways to retain amazing talent. And I know that when I am very engaged and why I want to stay working where I am is because of my leaders, right? So, as us as leaders, we have to be able to espouse the values, walk the walk and talk the talk. So.
Thank you, Irene. How about Wibu and Isabel? Anything to add here?
I would add the structured and formal process that Eaton has around retention of talent. We have multiple times in the year when we do the talent reviews. Every team goes through this talent review, and it's focused each time on different areas. There will be a talent review around emerging talent. Then we will also do the risk retention, the retention risk there. We'll do that assessment there. And that's where we identify that what are those actions we have to take to retain. If we see a risk, what is it that we have to take an action? Are we listening enough to what aspirations that engineer has? So this is a very structured process and very powerful process that we have in Eaton.
Thank you, Vibhu. Isabel, is there anything you want to add to this question?
No, maybe if we take overs, I can see that there are many.
Yeah, there's lots of good ones. I'll just add around retention. Just personally, I have an amazing manager who's also a woman working at Eaton. She's not an engineer, but it's really incredible to have managers and leaders who advocate for you. And I think there's a lot of that happening at Eaton. So just can plus one a lot of what was being said already. Okay, so another question. So we have a lot of people asking about how many women work at Eaton and how many leaders there are, or how many women are in leadership, et cetera. So we just wanted to call out that on our website, which I'm not sure if we're sharing the link, but it's on the screen. So if you want to check it out, eaton.com/inclusion, you can find our global inclusion and diversity report that you can access, and a new report will be coming out soon too. So those are the latest numbers that we have published around that information. I don't have it on the top of my head to rattle off, but please check that out there if you're interested in that information. So another question from the group, let's see. So there's a great question from Shaima of, does Eaton have a repowering program for returning to work moms after taking a break from helping families? And I think I saw Irene comment on this. So
Yep.
is anything you want to add there?
So we do have a program. We have launched it. We talked about it a couple of years ago. We have officially launched it. I saw that it was also in India, but definitely in the US. My group is one of the biggest part of, supporting research in the electrical sector Americas. It is specifically designed for women who have left the workforce and who wants to come back to the workforce. So it is a specific program, and we call it Resurge. So we do have a program around that. And if you guys want more info, I think we can follow up on that.
Wonderful.
And I would like to add as well that a career is not a sprint, and there are indeed a lot of opportunities also to join again the workforce, no matter the duration of the break. And I've observed also that it's actually quite a disruptive approach because, for example, if you go back to a company after maternity leave, let's say a long one, you actually trigger a change that would probably took longer time to happen. You know what I mean? So the company will offer you a similar role, maybe in another functions, but that's good because I think that I observe with friends, for example, who sometimes followed their husband for 3 years of expatriation, that when they came back, they were actually having new opportunities that I would love to have, but I didn't trigger any change, and probably that would come to me naturally, but not because of me triggering that. So it's again something that women should not feel afraid of. And as Irene said, there are a lot of good programs, in order to help everybody reintegrate the workplace very easily.
Awesome. Thank you, Isabel. And I see from our team that there's also a program in India called Relaunch as well. So there are programs for mothers returning to the workforce that can support people globally, it sounds like. Okay, I think we're going to move on to the next question we had. So this question is, what are some resources, networks, or communities that have been instrumental in your own career development that you would recommend to other women engineers? And Irene, would you like to kick this one off?
I would love to kick this one off, Hallie. So for me, from a resource, I think I've answered it in the other questions. I did not get where I am here without a very good sponsor. And your sponsor is at different levels of leadership. But throughout my, career, I've been in 6 companies, and each time I have a sponsor. So, so to me, you create a sponsor by, participating. If you don't know where to get started, participate in a formal mentoring. If you don't, I would encourage you to reach out to somebody you either admire or you want to get to know and just ask, right? I get asked all the time, can we connect? Would you be my mentor? You would be surprised to see how many times we said absolutely, and the answer is yes. So create that mentoring network, or create that network in general. It doesn't even have to be formal. And then just look at what other resources out there. A generic resource is what we really love and we're very big on, and Vibhu mentioned it. It's the Society of Women's Engineers. They have chapters everywhere in all major cities. I think they even take virtual. So that's a very specific resource that you can tap globally. I would say, go back to where you go for school for professional development. But more importantly, if you are in a company already, for example, our business resource group, which is WAVE, Vibhu talked about it. I've seen so many different events that we put on. We were talking about the Chalk Talk, but we actually do lunch and learns. We visit different sites. So I would say leverage your business resource group as another one. But if you say, oh, how do I get started? I would get started by looking at someone who you admire or you want to get to know and reach out to them.
Definitely. Thanks, Irene. Vibhu, did you have anything to add to this one?
Yeah, I would say I resonate with what Irene said about sponsors. Personally, for me, I think what really worked well is having a mentor all the time and having a sponsor. There's a difference between mentoring and having a mentor and having a sponsor. Mentor is somebody who helps you with developing and overcoming your own limitations by just coaching and guiding. And sponsor is somebody who can speak for you when career decisions or progression decisions are taken within those four walls where you're not present. So it's very important that each of us have mentors and sponsors throughout our career. And what also helped me personally is that I was lucky to be chosen for different leadership development programs at different levels. So that is the biggest source of network, I would say, within the organization. The two organizations that I worked for were both very big organizations. So it's very important that you have network within such big organizations. So I think that's another tool I would say that you need to leverage. You need to keep an eye on and see if you are not getting nominated, go ahead and raise your hand.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Vibhu. Yeah, leadership development programs are so valuable. I had the privilege of participating in one outside of Eaton, but Eaton sponsored me for it, and I can't speak highly enough of that experience. And there's lots of them at Eaton to engage in. Okay, let's do a couple more questions from the audience. So we had a question from Diana. In your experience, what skills or qualities are particularly valuable for success in, she asked about mechanical engineering roles at Eaton, but I think we can speak about mechanical and then maybe more broadly too with just engineering in general. Who would like to take this one?
And I can mention it if you want for, let's say, for mechanical engineering, because that's the question. I think that what is important is that we have, the end-to-end vision, that we are not only indeed engineers, but that we put ourselves also on the user standpoint, because this is really where we will develop probably the best user interface. And usually it is the mechanical part that the user will see, like a plastic part or sheet metal part. And also it's important that mechanical engineers know how to manufacture the design. It's really critical that they have experience. So I would encourage any new engineer to go to visit the manufacturing places, to visit the suppliers, to know the way they will inject the plastic, the way they store sometimes the plastic part, because it can explain some spot, in the final result in case it's not stored correctly, for example. So it's really important to go out of only the engineering skills that you can have at school, and only the design part, but to really see what is the overall, development process. And this is really also the same for all the other engineering functions, not only mechanical ones.
Yeah, Love hearing you say that it's really important to understand your users when you're working as an engineer at Eaton, because that's what my team is all about, is just helping all Eaton employees be more human-centered in the way that they build things. And our industrial design team would love to hear you talk about designing for manufacturing and being creative and innovative in the way you're using materials and things like that. So love that response. I think we're going to move into wrap up just to make sure we have time for each of you to answer this question. So our last question is, what advice would you give women in engineering who are considering a career at Eaton or in the industry as a whole to help them prepare for success in this evolving field? So Vibhu, do you want to kick this one off?
Of course, I would love to. This is something I always share with women engineers wherever I meet them. I say the takeaway for me is always threefold. First one is you yourself are in charge. So decision has to be yours. So therefore, be your own ally before you look for allies around you. Second, I would say you yourself are accountable. Hence, the responsibility of your career is yours. So therefore, you go ahead, promote yourself before you expect your boss or anyone around you to promote you. And third one, to wrap it up, I would say you are in control. Therefore, outcome is also going to be in your favor if you are in control. So therefore, embrace yourself, who you are, and influence your own career path. That's what I would say.
Thanks, Vibhu. Isabel, do you want to share?
Yes, I would repeat that for sure you need to believe in yourself. You need to be your own advocate, and especially I would recommend, each young engineer to be ready to go out of your comfort zone. Because this is probably the best way you will leverage all your skill, your engagement, your experience, your technical knowledge. And it's also, key that when you have ticked something, don't try to hold, go to the next one. It's really important to keep that learning capability. And regarding Eaton, I would say that I hope people listening to us today and sending their questions could really understand that you don't need, to mutate, right, to transform yourself to embrace a great career in technology. So don't hesitate to jump into it and do the ride with us at Eaton. You will love it.
I love that. Come and ride with us.
Thanks. Thanks, Isabel. Awesome. So Irene, would love to hear from you as well.
So it's very hard to follow Vibu and Isabel. So I'll add just one more dimension that, to say that in any thriving communities, right, be it your work, be it your family, be it your personal life, a way to actually say I'm living in, or I'm having or experiencing the best life is to make sure that you pay it forward. I cannot stress that enough. You are not alone. So now for people who are wanting to join Eaton or want to come to Eaton, now you know four of us now. So reach out. Never be afraid. You're never alone. And in anywhere, be it in a new situation or in a new company, now you know the four of us. So, not reach out and play it forward. That will be my biggest advice after what, Vibu talked about and what Isabel enforced.
Awesome. Thank you
And
all.
I would say, Irene, it's difficult to follow Vibhu and Isabel because we both follow you.
Aw.
You guys are the best.
Very sweet. Nice. So one thing I wanted to share before we wrap up fully today is that we had a comment shared from Ansari, and sorry if I mispronounced your name there, but welcome to Eaton. The comment was, Isabel, Vibu, Ali, Irene, you're all very inspirational. I'm going to join Eaton from 3rd October at the Pune location. Very eager to join this innovative team and bring great ideas to the table. We are so excited for you to join us, Ansari, and the Pune location is such a vibrant, incredible office. I was able to visit there a few months back, and so I'm sure you'll really enjoy your time and definitely reach out. All right. So our time is coming to an end. So I want to thank Irene, Vibu, and Isabel for an engaging and insightful conversation. Would also like to thank all of you for submitting so many great questions and sharing your time with us today. And if any of you are interested in learning more about Eaton's engineering career opportunities, please visit eaton.com/careers. Again, we may put the link up on the screen, I'm not sure, or it might be in the chat. If you are in the chat, this is the only link you should click on. So check out the careers that we have available online, and don't hesitate to reach out to anyone that you talk to today. And I think if there's more questions in the chat that we didn't get to respond to, we may follow up with some messages to give you more information. Does anyone have any other closing remarks to wrap up?
Ali, what a fantastic job in leading 3 of us here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fantastic work. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. All right, well, thank you
you.
all. Have a great rest of your day.